drawer flung open and Elvis is standing there. And he has this long flashlight and he's flashing it around. He says, "Who the hell locked this door?"
Just after midnight on July 7, 1972, a 22-year-old Linda Thompson met the 37-year-old Elvis Presley for the first time at the Memphian Theater in Memphis. Linda, Miss Tennessee, and her friend Jeanne LeMay, Miss Rhode Island, were invited to the night of movie watching by Linda's friend, singer T.G. Shepherd.
Elvis used to rent out the theater at midnight when everybody had gone, and he would screen movies until 4 or 5 a.m. So we parked outside at midnight and went in, and David Stanley, his stepbrother, was standing there talking to us, and Elvis, we heard somebody knock on the door really loudly, and somebody went and got the door, and the door flung open, and Elvis is standing there in a black suede cape with a high collar, red satin lining on the cape, black pants with a red insert and the flare, and he has this long flashlight and he's flashing it around. He says, "Who the hell locked this door?" I was coming in this way, and they were all going, "Oh boss, we're sorry, we thought you were going to come in the front door." "No, hell no, I wanted to come in this door." And he's like yelling at everybody, and then he flashes the light in my face and says, "Well, hello, honey." His whole demeanor changed, and then the gentleman Elvis walked over to me and said, "How do you do?"
As Linda described in her 2016 book, A Little Thing Called Life, she boldly teased Elvis that night by saying, "Kind of dressed a little like Dracula tonight, aren't we?" Elvis laughed. At this point in time, Elvis had been separated from Priscilla for 6 months, and they were in the process of getting divorced. But Linda did not know that.
And I thought he was still married, so I had no designs at all, or, I was just like happy to meet my idol. And then he came and sat next to me in the movie theater, just kind of plopped down after the movie had started. And I was kind of like, okay, this may not be on the up and up. So he started pulling the old yawn, put the hand around the seat, and I remember and Jeanne LeMay was like almost breaking my ribs. She was like, ah! And he started kind of like nuzzling me and stuff, and I said, "Jeannie, we have to go, we're leaving." He said, "Honey, you know I'm not married anymore, don't you?" And I said, "Well, no." "Really?" So he said, "No, I've been separated since the end of the year, since December or January." He said, "And we're getting a divorce, and she's met someone else, and she's moved on." And I said, "Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that, but you should have married a Southern girl." And he never forgot that. I know, isn't that crazy? He never forgot that, though. He said, "You're absolutely right," because he and I did grow up with the same values, the same cuisine, the same familial love, the same importance put on family and home, and the fire and all that. So he got it, that he should have married maybe someone that had more of his same spirit and upbringing and understood him maybe a little better. We were kindred spirits. We were like, I know soulmates is way overused, but Elvis and I truly were kindred spirits. We absolutely got each other. We understood each other. It was like we had known each other, pardon me, all our lives. Pardon me, that's him. A little frog in my throat. It was as if we had known each other all our lives, because we essentially had. We kind of grew up in the same way, and so we understood the ins and outs and the nuances of each other.
Linda got her first kiss with Elvis that night. In her book, she described what it was like to kiss him. If you want to know what it was like to kiss Elvis, get the biggest, puffiest marshmallows you can find, and press a few of them against your lips, because his lips really were that sweet and soft. He was the most mesmerizing kisser, so very sensual and intense.
We might have made out a little bit after I found out he wasn't married. Yeah, we did. We sat there and we talked, and we interrupted everybody else's movie watching, and we talked and we kissed and we talked some more and we kissed some more, and he said, "Well, I want to see you. Can I get your number?" And I was still trying to play it coy, I think, with beard burn. After a couple of hours, there were 2 features. Neither of us ever remembered what was playing because we didn't pay attention to the movie. We were talking, and
The movie doesn't matter anymore at that point,
no.
Right?
So I made him do the work, which I didn't realize was very uncommon for him because Joe Esposito, did everything for him, made all the phone calls, did everything. So I said, well, I don't have a pen or a piece of paper to write my number down. And he said, well, I'll get something. And it's so funny, he got a matchbook and he actually wrote it down himself, my phone number. I was staying with my Aunt Betty Sue. And so he wrote down Aunt Betty's number. And as we were leaving, as Jeannie and I were leaving, I said, what kind of idiot am I that I didn't just write down in big bold numbers what my number was and put it in his pocket? I said, he's not going to call me. He may not have even written the number down right. So I was kicking myself all the way back to Aunt Betty's house, and it was like 4 a.m. by the time we got back there. And Aunt Betty met us at the door. She was awake. She said, well, did you meet him? Because she had grown up, as a big Elvis fan as well. And Jeannie said, not only did she meet him, she was kissing him, he was kissing her, he's not married anymore, he really likes her, he wants to see her again. And because he had said, I want you to come to Graceland tomorrow night, I want you to meet my dad. And the phone's ringing, and it was Elvis. And my Aunt Betty went to the phone and she said, hello, and she still talks this way, by the way. She's 84. She said, hello, why, hi, Elvis. Why, it's nice to hear your voice. Yes, Linda's right here. She sure is. Well, Elvis, hon, I'm going to get Linda for you. Hold on just 1 minute. It's Elvis Presley. I just talked to Elvis. I said, sure, Aunt Betty, shh. So I go to the phone, and apparently I didn't know then that he took prescription sleeping aids. But he sounded like sleepy, and I said, are you tired? Were you drinking? And he said, no, honey, I don't drink. And he didn't. And he said, I don't drink. And he said, I'm just wanted to tell you how happy I am that I met you tonight, and I want to see you. I want you to come to Graceland tomorrow night and meet my daddy. And where have you been all my life? And I've been looking for somebody like you my whole life. He was like going on, and I said, okay, well, I'll be there tomorrow night. So Jeannie and I went to Graceland the following night, and I met his dad, and he was just such a respectful gentleman. He was really an old-fashioned, respectful Southern gentleman.
Linda would go on to date Elvis for the next 4.5 years. Her friend Jeanne LeMay would spend a lot of time with Elvis and Linda, and would become one of Elvis's secretaries. Jeanne wrote a book about her experiences called Elvis, Linda and Me. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like this video to help this channel grow. For more fascinating facts about Elvis, pick up one of Trina Young's 4 Elvis books, including her latest, Fact vs. Fiction in the 2022 Elvis movie. Read a free excerpt at elvisbiography.net. Please subscribe to this channel and ring the bell for notifications of future videos. Continue to watch more videos about Linda Thompson and Elvis here.